Am I going? Okay. Let's break this down from the first thing I had to the last thing. So we start out with lyrics from the client. So I put these put the lyrics here on the side, so I kind of have that to follow along with. I drop the reference track, which in this case is Johnny Cash's Boy Named Sue. So I'll drop this into the track.
Guitar and an empty bottle of booze.
So I can always be going back and referencing that to make sure I'm not getting too far away from the actual vibe. And then on top of that, we had a actual scratch vocal from the client. So this is David from Sazerac. He sent me this. So we're going to listen to that in a second. This is David's guide.
This song right here's for the red, white, and blue. You got good taste and you drink like it too. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
So that's what I have to start with, is kind of a pretty specific thing of what they want, and there's a vibe reference track to this Johnny Cash song. So I started with drums here, so we'll go down to the drums. I got my kick here. I got 4 mics doing the kick. Oops, we'll go over here. So that's just that. Here's the hi-hat separately. And I have a couple fills. So you see a little tom coming here. And then I add the snare in. I think I have a little tambo. So that's the base of it. So let's start with the drums. So once the drums are done, we got the acoustic here. Then I'm going to add this electric in here. Actually, no, I think I added bass next. Once we got the bass going, we go to the electric guitar here. Acoustics. I got a banjo that got deleted, but I'll play it for you anyways. Here's this pedal steel too. Oops. I had totally another acoustic guitar, and then once we started tracking it, we realized it was too low. And so, but Zach only had 2 hours here. They're about to leave for tour. And so, and that's when Bethany and Spencer came over, so they were here, so we had kind of a group of 4 of us trying to figure out how to do it. So I was like, so I tried to re-record the acoustic really quick. Felt better, but we still wanted to do it even higher. So at that point, I just was like literally pitching the acoustic up, like with a computer, and it kind of sounded fragmented. But just to get something that we could get Zach while he was here getting into a key that felt right for him. Because we wanted to do something that he could sing a low and a high octave. So it needed to feel kind of low for him. So that way when he jumps up, it's not too high. Because when we started, it was a little higher. And when he goes, Wheatley, stop! Like, he's such a pro, like he can sing his ass off and sing such a great range. But I was like, bro, you're not going to want to, like, if we do 20 takes of this, it's not going to be fun. So this was all what I'm playing for you now after we kind of troubleshooted all that. And so we started by, I think we started by knocking out the talking. So there's probably, I probably have 100 takes of Zach talking in different ways. So for instance, here's all the layers here. Let's see what's up. So just for like, I have 33, I have 33 takes of something here. What is that?
Neatly washed in Moscow, always get the mule. We here in the heartland make the best damn vodka an American heart can. Wheatley.
So he's, as you can tell, he's rushing through it to try to get it. But, you know, I have to go through, so I'll go through each of these one word at a time.
And wash in Moscow, get the mule. We here in the heart. And wash in Moscow, get the mule. We here in the heartland make the best.
So every take, we'll stop, think about what needs to be different, what's wrong with it, do another one.
And wash in Moscow, get the mule.
as you can see here, all those different vocals, they all, this one's later, this one starts earlier, this one starts in the middle. And so I kind of have to go through and find the right word, and then I can kind of take each word and move it in time to match. And so after all these, probably 100 total, we get down to what ends up being a final comp of something. And so that would be, let's see here, this stuff. So this is him talking, what I cut it into eventually.
Watching Moscow always get.
Nope.
And watching Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel.
So that's what I cut it down to. And then once we got that done, we start doing all the harmonies. So I have a ton of, just like the vocals, I have a ton of layers of that. And I'm turning up, here's the volume, I'm automating all the different words each time. So say there was a word that was too loud or too soft. Each one I'm bumping up a couple dB or down a dB, getting rid of the breaths in between, getting rid of like the P's or T's that hit too hard or S's, manually turning that stuff up and down. And this is all, it's fun to work on the music and you get a groove going and you like blast it loud, but in the end you know that on TV in the ad, like the music's almost going to be inaudible. Like the main thing is Zach's vocal. So here's his talking parts, here's his singing parts, and these are all flattened down from what all the different layers I had.
This song right here is for the red, white, and blue. You got good taste, and you drink like it too. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. And watching Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. So pour a glass on the porch, get a little tanner, let your taste buds sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
So when I'm editing his vocal, I'm kind of just playing just the drums, and I'm just trying to like, how can I get the cadence of his all these takes to cut into a place where like it sounds that it's almost like a rap or something. Like everything, even though it's talking, needs to be kind of on beat, or else it kind of sounds weird. And we only have about 6 seconds to do it per verse, because I initially was like, I want to do 2 choruses and we'll have time to fit in the 3 verses, but the client was like, we need to have the Wheatley, the hook, happen 3 times. And so then it's like, okay, we have 5 seconds for each of these verses. How's it going to work? And that's almost like the hard part of making ad music. Like I think a lot of people can write songs and record stuff, but I think what's the math of like making stuff work timing wise for all the different 15, 30-second versions, minute-long versions is kind of where it kind of becomes a little more difficult. Okay, so all together we got, here's the drums here, bring those up. All together we got snares, kicks, and each one of these is like, this is a room mic, this is a close mic, this is a mic that's 2 feet away, this is a mic that's 4 feet away, and I do that for each thing. So we got snare, hi-hats, kicks, Zach's talking, Zach's singing, my bass, some Mumford & Sons sounding stomps that I threw in there you can't hear, my electric, my acoustics, this banjo that I'll keep in the mix because it's fun, pedal steel. Okay, so when we do it all together, we have this. And this is a 30-second version, mind you, so like I have a whole nother 4 other sessions for the 15-second version I can show you. And this is before I even got the visual. Typically, when I'm doing this, I already have footage from the commercial or the footage from a TV show or a movie that I can actually be watching, and I can load it into this session and be making music towards that. Whereas this, Spencer just sent me the first cuts of it yesterday. So it's kind of reversed how I typically do it. Typically you're looking at it and composing to it, and this is after the fact. This is all of it together. Got the drums here starting and the acoustic.
This song right here is for the red, white, and blue. You got good taste, and you drink like it too. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. And watching Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. So pour a glass on the porch, get a little tanner, let your taste buds sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
And you always got to have a concise end with a fade that they can have like Wheatley American Vodka afterwards. So whenever like them important stuff's done, I have to always have a good option for them with different ways of getting out of it. So like there's a drum fill that happens knowing that there's going to be 1 second left for him to have that tagline at the end. Same with at the beginning. Because now in hindsight, once all the music was done, for the 15-second version, they decided they wanted to add him ordering a drink at the start. So he's like, I'll take a Wheatley neatly, or Wheatley with vodka soda or something. No, he says, take a vodka soda with Wheatley, which seems simple, but that's a 1.5 seconds of audio that now has to fit in this thing that we've meticulously, with like 10 different people with feedback, getting it to where it is. And so that's just me and me and Spencer and I the last week have been going back and forth, like how do we fit this in here? And so even though the music for the most part I feel like I've been done with, we shot the commercial maybe 3 weeks ago, me and Spencer are still tweaking this stuff. And I think today was the first day he actually sent it to the client, and I'm expecting, in my mind I feel like we've already shot the commercial, so it's probably done, but from past experiences, like we've started from scratch before at this stage. Now, hopefully not because they have him on camera saying all the stuff to match this, but to add music and continue to get work doing it, it's like the whole key is like I have to be flexible as possible at all times, not have any emotion, be passionate about the music, but like nothing's personal. It's all about like, sure, I have the tools to, I think, make what you're saying happen in real life. And so I'll do it as best I can, send it to you, and I welcome the feedback until we zero in, until all 100 people involved are happy. And it's kind of like spending 20 years in recording software, just like mind-numbingly editing drums and vocals forever has got to where it's like, this can kind of seems more natural to do now. Whereas maybe 10 years ago when I started doing this, like I was writing a thing for Caribbean cruises, and I just was almost a year project, like 15 different versions of one song. I was singing it too. But I was still learning this, and I didn't do a lot of things correctly, and I listen to it now, I'm like, that sounds like crap. And but every situation I learn a little bit more, and I learn, okay, I could have done that better. I was kind of immature in the way I gave pushback against feedback, and I'm trying every day, every project I get, hopefully a little better at it.